Alright, so I got a 2007 Honda CBR1000RR. I thought I'd post a video on how to replace the air filters. So I removed my air filters, and these look like the original air filters. I just bought this bike, so I don't think the original owner got around to doing these at all. So I bought the K&N high flow air filters from them. You know, it was worth the price, 50 bucks for two of them, since it doesn't take just one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do it in reverse. So all you guys have to do to remove the filter is just follow the steps backwards. It's really straightforward. It's not too difficult at all. So I'll just walk you guys through step by step exactly what I did. So here we go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new filters in. So I already opened up one of them. And as you can see, the K&Ns don't have this this top piece, which I believe you have to replace on the newer filters if you buy a OEM type one. So that's the only thing. That's what it said in the instructions that you'll see when you get it for your bike, that K&N will provide. So it's pretty straightforward how to do it. So I'm just gonna give these a look over one more time just to make sure there's no debris or anything. Everything looks good. So let's come over here. So to do this job, you don't need to remove any of the fairings. You do have to remove a side fairing that goes right over here, but that's pretty much it. You do have to remove the seat and two bolts that are for the tank. I just put a piece of plywood here. I saw someone else posted a video who did the same thing, so I thought that was really smart to do. So I just found a 2x4, just stick it in here, just wedge this up so it stays up. So for example, if I were to move this, it just shakes back and forth freely. And I would recommend doing this when you have an empty tank. It's just a lighter amount of weight that you have to deal with. So let's put these filters in. So there's no specific order, left, right. They just shoot right in. And to do this, I'm just gonna put both of these things in. And this was also a good time to just check your airbox too. I had two dead bugs in here, so I would just double check yourself before you put everything back in and tighten everything up. You might as well just make sure it's clean. So here we go. Both filters are in, nice and snug. And let me come around and grab this piece, which just goes on top of the air filters. One thing that I did was, that another recommended video did was not to remove these screws completely, because as you'll see when you remove a few of the bolts, there's a chance you might lose one, and I happen to lose one, and I'll show you guys later in the video which one I lost. But pretty much this goes on top of the airbox. So all you have to do is lift everything up. Don't tug on it too hard. You don't want to damage anything. But before I do that, I need to remove these screws. I just So after you have this clip plugged in and verify everything, all the screws are tightened all around, you want to remove this piece. Well, in this case, we're going to put it back on. This little mount piece is just holding this piece in place. So it's held in place with 2 Phillips head screws. Again. So now that that's done, we can now drop the tank and start putting the shell back together. So a piece of wood or whatever you had in place holding the tank up, remove it and bring the tank down a little bit. So the holes for these things that hold the tank in place are 2 screws that take Allen keys. I'm not 100% sure about the size of what the Allen key is, but just had a huge selection of Allen keys, so I was able to just figure out the size. Like I said, it's held in place on 2 sides. So all you got to do Alright, now you want to grab your fairing that goes over the tank. You just want to line it up. So that looks good. And this doesn't exactly lock into place. There are screws holding it into place, so just keep that in mind. So let's start off by verifying. So let me grab a light so you guys can see. So there are 2 screws, one right here, one right here, and then one and the other one. So those are 4 screws. I did lose, like I mentioned earlier, one of the screws. It fell into the bike and I looked for it for about 20 minutes, but I just gave up. Found a So after you got the tank fairing on, this is one of the side fairings that I was talking to you about. For this, it just goes into this slot right over here. So you just need to pop it into place. Removing it was a pain because I thought I broke it initially, but like everything else on this bike, you have to apply a little bit of pressure on it. So these are held in by these very small screws. I'm just going to go ahead and tighten this. Alrighty, that side's in. Let's do the other side. And like I said, this screw, it's hidden behind it, so you can't even see it. Alright, so one step closer. And that's it. That's pretty much it for the whole air filter replacement.